Hi, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Nepal, India, and everybody watching us from South Asia and the whole world. Today, of course, we have a special session. We have a very good U.S. university and very popular among international students and especially to our Nepalese students because we have got very strong community, Nepalese community at the campus itself. And yeah, we have our special guest and my very good friend, Mr. Kevin Timlin, who is the executive director of Southeast Missouri State University. Many of you may have heard about that name because maybe like your friends or family already studying there, graduated there. So this is the great university in terms of the programs they offer, the affordability, like the tuition cost, of course, that comes on our mind as well, and the location itself and Missouri, of course, a very friendly and very affordable state in the United States for many international students. Even my wife graduated in one of the universities in Missouri, and we have lived in Missouri, I think back in 2006 and 7. Yeah, I go back to that memories, and it's always a very memorable like time we had spent there. Yes, and I want to welcome you, Kevin. Welcome to this platform.
Thank you very much. I forgot that you spent time in Missouri. That's a great reminder and a great testimonial to the affordability of Missouri, the friendliness of Missouri. It's really nice how it's centrally located, that students can save money on their education and cost of living, but still have access to a lot of different things in the United States. So, yeah, you're right. We have a great history with Nepalese students. And we offer high quality educational programs at a very affordable rate compared to a lot of other places in the U.S.
Absolutely, because when you come to United States, of course, like first thing on your mind would be the quality of education and the university that delivers that facilities and opportunities. Absolutely, the university like Southeast Missouri State University is one of them. So I highly recommend you. Please watch this session with us. So as our special guest, Mr. Kevin Timlin, who is the executive director, will be sharing more information about getting into the campus, the programs of your interest, the entry requirements, and so on. All right. Yes, and we thank you for your time, your participation during this study in Canada and U.S. session that is ongoing now, and we are thrilled to receive your feedback. And definitely, we're gonna do a lot more of this session in the coming future as well. Because the simple idea, the straightforward idea is to help you get the first-hand information through our holistic approach. The services that Bradford offers to you is only for your benefits. Okay, so watch us live and help us guide you further. All right, and Kevin, today it is Friday in Nepal, as I'm in California. You are in Missouri, of course. As you just said with me offline, that the students in Missouri, student in Southeast Missouri University, like your university, they just celebrated the Holy Festival, the Festival of Colors. So we want to wish everybody watching us live now and on the recorded, happy Holi. Enjoy the colors, play safe, and of course, make yourself even more colorful in terms of your careers, your life, and we are there for you. So happy Holi.
Indeed, happy Holi, everybody.
Yep. And yeah, but to feel that vibes, I think we have at least like some colorful, get up today. Good to share with you. All right. Okay, I see a tremendous number of viewers joining us live now, and I'm sure, SEMO has been very popular university in Nepal and India and many parts of the world for its greater value of degrees and the programs, the affordability. So we want to take that opportunity to share with our students today. Kevin, one more time, I want to officially welcome to you on this show, and then talk about yourself, the university a little bit, please, before we start on each slide.
Well, and thank you very much, Juan, for this opportunity. we have a long history together, as I shared with your viewers on our previous broadcast here, that
Mhm.
you were the very first person that I met when I came to Kathmandu. I was coming to Kathmandu for the first time from China, and my flight was delayed out of China for like 2 days.
Mhm.
And so I had set up 5 days worth of appointments that I then had to cram into a day and a half. You were the first one to meet me there, and you took me to meet your family. I don't think it was holy holiday, but it
No,
was a,
it was Dasai festival. That's like a family
that's right.
gathering and barbecue and all. Yeah.
Yeah, and such great memories of that. It was a great friendship that began, and just to kind of share with your viewers that that's representative of the relationship that we have with your organization. We trust you to find students who fit our profile, that we know that they're going to be well prepared. We know that they're going to be great students here. So, your customers should be very comfortable in knowing that you are a proud and strong representative of Southeast Missouri State. So we thank you for that.
Absolutely. It's all our pleasure to work with you and your team, Kevin. And yeah, we always have this privilege working with great universities here in the United States, as well as other countries. And we can't thank you enough for your support to us and to our students. And of course, like this is in view of helping more and more students get to the universities if they find this is the right fit. And yeah, we want to make sure that students are choosing the best. And of course, the services that you are providing, the trouble that you're making to reach out to the family and the students, to give them the facts, share the facts about SEMO, Southeast Missouri State University, definitely helps a lot. And it's been very supportive to us as agents, to have you there, and then bring them the best of your university, and then help them go further with the plans in the United States when it comes to further studies. Thanks for all you've been doing for us and for our students, Kevin. And we can't wait to welcome you again in Nepal.
Yeah, someday. I'm hopeful that travel will get back to some sense of normalcy. I think it's been probably 2 or 3 years since I've been in Nepal. But I always love the opportunity to go there and meet so many people. I'm always kind of impressed with Nepal, that, the beauty of the people there and the smiles on people's faces that you see are unlike anywhere else in the world. So I love going to beautiful Nepal and meeting the people. And hopefully I'll be able to go there and meet prospective students in person there within the next year. We'll see. We were talking about vaccines, and I think they're becoming a little bit more common, and that should open up our travel a little bit. But at the same time, it's really nice that we do have technologies like this now, that we do have the ability to reach out to people on an instantaneous basis. Like we can meet people where they are when it's convenient for them. I know that your agency provides that kind of support for your students, but also know that we try to provide that kind of assistance for prospective students or applied students as well. That we can schedule WhatsApp conversations or Zoom conversations. One of the things that you alluded to earlier, and is very important for us, is that it's really important that you make the right decision about where you're attending a university, because we invest a lot of resources in finding the right student. You invest a lot of time and money and energy in picking the right institution and getting to that institution. And nothing is more important to us than you being successful once you get here, because we don't want you to waste your time. We don't want to waste our time to get somebody here who figures, this isn't what I signed up for, this isn't what I want. So we make ourselves available to you and to Bradford Global and to everybody to make sure that all of your questions are answered going in. You know exactly what to expect. You know exactly what kind of programs we have, and that you are sure that we're the right institution for you, because that's really what it's all about, is making sure that you as the student are able to be successful in achieving your educational, professional, and personal goals.
Absolutely. I just want to share something about this university in Nepali. डियर भ्युअर्स, हाम्रो आज चाहिँ भइरहेको सेसन जुन साउथ इस्ट मिजोरी स्टेट युनिभर्सिटी मिजोरीको छ, र यो चाहिँ स्पेसल किन छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यसको पपुलारिटी, यसको डिग्री रिकग्नेसन प्लस अनि एफोर्डेबिलिटीको कुराले गर्दा धेरैभन्दा धेरै नेपाली स्टुडेन्ट्सहरू पढिराख्नु भएको छ, र जो अलरेडी यसबाट चाहिँ आफ्नो स्टडिज कम्प्लिट गरिसकेर राम्रो करियरमा चाहिँ लागिसक्नु भएको छ। त्यही कारणले चाहिँ मैले आज केबिन हाम्रो एक्जिक्युटिभ डिरेक्टर उहाँलाई मैले चाहिँ जोइन गराएको छु, र तपाईँले पक्कै पनि ढुक्क भएर चाहिँ सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ कसरी चाहिँ प्रोग्राम्सहरू चाहिँ भनौँ बेस्ट प्रोग्राम्सहरूमा यहाँले चाहिँ इन्ट्री पाउन सक्नुहुन्छ। आइएलटिएस रिक्वायरमेन्ट, टोफल रिक्वायरमेन्ट प्लस एकाडेमिक कतिसम्म चाहिन्छ, कति टाइम लाग्छ I-20, र भिजाको सिनारियो लाइक इन्टरभ्यू कहिलेदेखि स्टार्ट हुनसक्छ, इन्टरभ्यू त पक्कै स्टार्ट भइरहेछ तर लिमिटेड फेजमा, फुल फेजमा कस्तो हुनसक्छ अथवा केही चेन्जेस छ, प्लिज सोध्नुहोस्। Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for bearing with me. I love to speak to my to our viewers in our own language, so make it easy. Of course, they all know English very well. Kevin, I want to touch the base about embassies reopening. So, do you have anything about their plan to open visa sections in Nepal or other countries anytime sooner?
Well, I'd say two things. One, it's been very clear to us that visa success rates have been increasing since the elections in November. It was almost instantaneous. When we went back to November, we're heading into our holiday season in the U.S. We have a Christmas holiday and we have a New Year's Eve celebration, and the university goes on break for about 2 weeks, from the end of December until about the middle of January. And when we left on Christmas break in December, the spring semester starts almost right after we get back from vacation. So, we normally have a pretty good intake of international students in that January intake or that January semester. When we left for holiday in December, we were thinking we'd have maybe 20 to 25 new students arriving for the program to start in January. And primarily that was because of low visa rates. Like, we had a lot more accepted students, but we were thinking maybe 25 people could get visas and get here. When we got back from the break and the following weeks, that number ballooned up to about 140 new students.
Wow.
And that was primarily because people who were able to get visa appointments were finally successful in obtaining visas.
Wow.
And so, I say that to point out that the situation has already changed. That if you can get a visa appointment, there seems to be a different approach at the State Department right now in approving student visas. So you definitely have the ability to be more successful in that visa application than you had been in the previous 2 or 3 years. So that's great news that can give people confidence. Second thing that I would say is that, there's still a real challenge that we have about a 1.5 year backlog of students who have applied to the United States who are trying to apply for visas, and that system is still very much backlogged. A lot of embassies and consulate offices remain closed or only open for emergency processing. I believe that's the situation in Nepal. It's the same in a lot of different countries. Actually, it varies. Some places are processing very quickly. Some places are not. What we have been told is that it's very likely that the embassies will be reopening and the consulate offices will be opening in May. And there's been a big push on the part of higher education associations in the U.S. to pressure the State Department and to pressure the U.S. government to prioritize the processing of student visa applications. So, I say that because that backlog isn't going to go away just because the embassy's open. There's still low staff. There's still some restrictions, and there's still a huge backlog of pending applicants. So everybody's not going to get into that system, at least not the way that they were maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But there's really a push to make sure that when those consulate offices and embassies open, that student visa applicants have the first crack at appointments and things like that. There's even talk of eliminating the requirement to have a face-to-face interview.
Oh, wow.
But
That would be first time in the history, huh? Okay.
yeah, but I stress that is not approved, that is
Hmm.
not anything that has been announced or official yet. The openings in May is not official either.
Hmm.
But I can tell you that there's been a lot of movement in that regard, that people are seeing how important international students are to the entire country.
Hmm.
And there's a concerted effort to make sure that students who are qualified and want to come to the US to study are given that opportunity. So we're very, very optimistic. After 2 or 3 years of being frustrated and kind of seeing a lot of challenges, it's really looking like a positive environment to get international students back to the US.
I completely agree with you. And we all went through that suffering, I would say,
Yeah.
because a student wanted to come to the United States at great universities like SEMO, but the rejection rate was higher than we expected. And occasionally, the previous administration, changed the policy towards the international students and their rights after graduation as well, and that also gave a negative message to international students community. And other stuff would be uh, we were who had the visas here, like studying here, even had to face some trouble during the pandemic, just for a quick time, let's say for a week or so, because that administration was talking about not being that helpful to students, international students who are here. But that was a silly idea, and which was overturned with the association of the universities like yours, SEMO, plus many, including MIT and all. So that was overturned, and that means the institution here, the universities, colleges here, are for international students, not just the domestic students, and they treat you equally. And also, they mean that they know the value of international students to the entire country here, be it cultural aspect or economical, or many others. So this diversification is quite of
Yeah.
help to all of us. So yeah, thanks for saying about the embassies, the discussion going on the table. There could be a full-fledged interview, let's say services at the visa section, there's consular sections at the US embassy beginning May. And also, there is a speculation that there might be no in-person physical interviews, could be a distant interview, or some paperwork, something like that, like some other countries have that in place already. Hopefully things will go like that, fingers crossed. And yeah, the final goal should be uh, helpful, it should ease the process, visa process, to international students anyway.
And to be fair to Pavan, you've been in this for a while,
Hmm.
as have I, and it was a very different environment going back 6 years ago. And in 2015 was really a peak in international student enrollment in the U.S.
Hmm.
And in my opinion, I do think it was maybe there needed to be a bit of a correction, because we did see a lot of people who were maybe not qualified, or maybe not 100% interested in degree programs. And I'm not talking just about Nepal. I'm talking about
The whole.
around the world.
Hmm.
That people, like the student visa was fairly easy to obtain, and people would come and not enroll in courses and kind of go out of status, and they used it as a pathway to the US and not
Hmm.
be here lawfully.
Hmm.
And so, I do look at the last 4 years as somewhat positive, in that there was some correction to that market. I think
Hmm.
they definitely went way, way, way too far.
Hmm.
But as things open up now, what I'm very hopeful for is the message is more clear that it's an opportunity for qualified students. Again, what we are interested in, and I know that your company is the same way, and we're the same way, is we want to help students be successful.
Right.
And successful in their academics, successful in their career aspirations, successful in personal kind of aspirations. And if you don't have the finances, if you don't have the grades or the language proficiency, and you're submitting incorrect documents in order to get to the US, you're not going to be successful. So we are now trained and conditioned to look at those things a little bit more critically. It's not uncommon for us now to kind of call the banks and verify the bank statements and things like that to make sure that, these are authentic documents. We check to make sure that the tests and things are official. And so my point in that, again, is that it's really looking like the environment is opening up and good again for qualified and interested students. And then that's really what we're interested in. So
absolutely, yeah, I take that note as well. Like, the environment is opening up. I mean, it's going to be more friendlier to international students while applying now. So the best message for now would be like, see, things are changing, improving, and we are excited as equally as you are as institution, and want to share this same excitement to our future students. And of course, like, this is the time to make application, to learn about the programs, to seek the best universities on the options, like, on the table. And other stuff would be like how to prepare a better, a strong application in regards to applying to the universities and preparing themselves to the visa interview. So let's hear a lot more about that, as we speak. So I have your PPT, the presentation here, and
okay.
I'm sure our viewers would want to see that as well. The programs, the tuition, and the entry requirements. So basically, those would be more of interest. So if you are ready, I want to actually like pull that up for you
Okay.
on the screen. In the meantime, let me. Would you allow me like play the video of SEMO a little
Of
bit?
course.
Okay,
Sure.
great. Thank you. Dear viewers, I want to play the video of the university, Southeast Missouri State University, which is a great university, and I've been there personally a couple of times, and I'd love to. I'd love to like visit them again when I can in the future. Let me share that video with you here. So it gives you a little idea before Kevin's presentation to you, and that is so informative. Please wait for that as well. Well, that was really quick. So we're going to talk about the campus and the scholarship, of course. All right. So I'm authorizing it to you, Kevin.
Okay. So what I'm going to present real quick, and Pavan, we can change this. This presentation is a little bit more about why you would choose Southeast as opposed to the kind of specifics about admission requirements and things like that. But again, I think this is important for you to understand because, again, we want to ensure that you're picking us for the right reasons. So this quick presentation is going to be more about, hey, this is why Southeast is right for me. So
Sure.
As I go through this, I like to include a bunch of different pictures. We were named the most beautiful city in the state of Missouri by Architectural Digest, and it's really kind of, we don't have the mountains of Nepal, but we are right on the banks of the Mississippi River. It's a primarily agricultural economy, lots of beautiful rolling hills and trees. That is a picture of the cherry blossoms out in front of Dempster Hall. Dempster Hall is the main business and computing
Hmm.
classroom space. And those are actually in
So
bloom right
beautiful.
now. So that's a picture from last year,
Hmm.
but that is going on right now. And it's really, we're a university that's been around since 1873. So we're fully accredited. We're well established.
Hmm.
We've been around for a long time, and the campus looks like people think a college campus in the Midwestern part of the U.S. should look. So as I go through this presentation, you can see some of our facilities and things like that. The number one reason I think why you should choose Southeast, or why Southeast may be the right choice for you, is what I call affordable excellence. Again, we're fully accredited. Our bachelor's and master's degrees carry the same weight as a degree from Harvard or North Carolina Chapel Hill, or they're all accredited in the same way, that our bachelor's and master's degrees are going to open up the opportunities for graduate school and jobs and whatever it is that you're looking for. Excellent academics. We've got a lot of different program accreditations. Our business school is like top 5% of business schools in the world with AACSB accreditation.
Hmm.
Our mass media, our art programs are all really strong. Our cybersecurity, computer science programs are all ABET accredited. So you can have confidence that our academic programs are rigorous and strong in quality, and that our degrees mean something once you're finished. But we're also incredibly affordable. The cost of living here is low compared to a lot of other places in the U.S. We
Hmm.
have very generous merit-based scholarships for international students. So if you're a high-achieving international student at the undergraduate level or the graduate level, you're going to have a price point for everything that I really don't think you're going to be able to find a higher quality institution at a lower price point anywhere else in the United States. And I stand by that. And what that kind of means is, you can come here and spend less than $20,000 for everything for a year to get a great education, whereas in another place you might spend $35,000, $40,000 per year.
Hmm.
And that money that you save, you can go home over break. You can go visit Miami and Los Angeles and go see Pavon and Berkeley and all
Uh-huh.
those different places, and still live comfortably and affordably here. So, we're an excellent value in terms of how quality of an education you get for the low price that you're going to pay. So I think that's one of the main reasons why we're so popular with international students.
Hmm.
Second, I would say that we have an excellent environment for international students. And one of the top reasons, if you see that picture at the top right of the screen of the gentleman playing soccer, that
Hmm.
is our president, Dr. Carlos Vargas.
Wow.
He originally came to the United States as an international student himself.
Hmm.
And he's very involved in our international student organizations and activities. He had a knee replacement surgery, so he's no longer playing soccer with the students. But when you have the leader of an organization who knows what kind of support is necessary to help international students succeed, you see an institution with those supports and those structures in place, and that's truly what we are. We've created an international village, a hub for all international students and organizations on campus. Again, the scholarships were his idea. All kinds of student employment opportunities in our campus. We have international student workers employed all across the campus, whether it's in our police department, the recreation center, in my office, in the library, the president's office, you name it. We want to give our international students opportunities to be part of our community.
Hmm.
Um, I mentioned that we're named the prettiest city in Missouri. There you can see us on a map. Mild climate. It may snow once or twice every summer or winter, but when it does snow, it doesn't last long. So it's a relatively mild winter. So it's just overall a great environment. It's safe, affordable, and welcoming and supportive of international students. The number three thing is the close personal attention that not just international students, but all students get here at
Hmm.
Southeast. Only one, so we have over 200 different degree programs to choose from at the bachelor's and master's degree level. We have thousands and thousands of courses for students to choose from to enroll in every semester. And only 1% of all of those courses have more than 50 students in them. So what that means is when you come here as a freshman or a first-time graduate student, you are going to be taught by PhD faculty from the very first day on campus. You're going to have great opportunities throughout your time here to interact with those professors, to get mentorship opportunities from them. We have great internship opportunities, study abroad opportunities, realistic experiential learning opportunities. And so what the analogy that I always give is if you come here and seek out opportunities to develop your leadership skills, to develop relationships with faculty members, you can be a big fish in a small body of water. And that means you take advantage of the resources, you take advantage of opportunities that come to you, you develop your resume by having opportunities to do internships, student employment, research opportunities and things like that. And that all comes from being in a small, close-knit, supportive environment. And that, that goes with other students, that goes with faculty and staff across the campus. I alluded to it before, but we have degrees in just about anything that you might be looking for. I don't like to lead with negatives, but I would say that the only thing that we don't offer students are specialized engineering programs. Like if you want to be a chemical engineer or an aerospace engineer or something like that, we don't really have programs for you. But just about everything else, we can find you a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in. And again, all high quality academics, a fully accredited institution, really good programs across the board. So we can be a lot of things to a lot of different people. So depending on what you're looking for, I think we have a program for you. And STEM is important for international students. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And if you graduate in a STEM designated program, that means that all international students, when you graduate with a bachelor's and a master's degree, you get 1 year to stay in the U.S. on your student visa and work. And as long as it's in the field that you graduated in, you get 1 year to stay and work. If you graduated in a STEM field, a STEM designated field, you get an additional 2 years. So you get up to 3 years per degree to work in the U.S. if you graduated in a STEM designated field. We have over 60 STEM designated programs for students to enroll in. So if you think about that, we have a number of students who do a 4-year bachelor's degree. It's STEM designated. Then they get 3 years of OPT after that. So that's 7 years. Then they come back. If you graduate from our institution, you can come back and do a master's degree at the in-state rate. That's another 2 years, and then you can get another 3 years of OPT. So you're looking at about 12 straight years of study and work opportunities just on the student visa through our program. So, the student visa in and of itself isn't a pathway to permanent residency or citizenship or anything like that. But OPT gives you access to those businesses that hire international students, and that's when you can get supported for a work visa and things like that. So again, our degree programs are relevant in the fields. Our graduates are hired. Our programs are in demand. So you can feel comfortable in knowing that we can set you up for success in those areas. Nothing is guaranteed. I think Pavan would tell you this too. You still have to work for it. You still have to present yourself. You still have to build your resume. You just being here in and of itself is not a pathway to success, but we can certainly set you up for success, and our degrees mean something, and our students go on to achieve great things. And finally, this isn't so much important for Nepal. We do offer conditional admission for students who maybe haven't met the English proficiency requirements. You need to have a 5.5 on the IELTS or a 61 on the TOEFL to be admitted for undergraduate programs, a 6.0 on the IELTS or 79 on the TOEFL to be admitted into a master's program. And if you don't have that, you can get conditional admission and come through our CEA accredited ESL program. And again, I know that most Nepalese students that we deal with don't need the English proficiency or don't need the additional English training. But if you do, we have that for you.
Absolutely.
So that was just my quick kind of 5 reasons why, Pavan. I don't know if you want to kind of go into questions now, or if you want me to go into a little bit more specifics about some of our programs or admission requirements or scholarships.
Yeah, I think we'd want that as we are waiting for the questions to appear on the chat box. Yeah, if you could mention about those here, that would be appreciated. What you are organizing, I'll be playing a quick clip about us. All right, that was from our last year's North American education fair, and we missed that so much because we're still waiting for that kind of session, kind of like an exhibition sometime in the future. So we can meet with the students directly and have our representatives from the colleges and universities and see them face to face. All right. So I got your slide here, Kevin. So it is about admission and requirements. Yeah, please go ahead if you're ready.
Okay, sure. So these are the admission requirements for an undergraduate or a person seeking a bachelor's degree. We have the grading system in the United States is A, B, C, D, F. And we calculate that into a 4-point scale. If you get all A's, it's a 4-point. If you get all B's, it's a 3-point. C's, 2-point. D, 1-point. In order to be admitted into an undergraduate program and receive scholarships, you need to have a minimum of a 2.5 GPA. The scholarships go up the higher your GPA and test scores and things like that. But basically, we're looking at students need at least a 2.5. Our online application, or our application is completely online. It's a very simple process. You're allowed to email in a lot of the required documents and test scores and things like that. We do have an application fee of $40. We do give Bradford Global some application waivers. So they do have the ability to grant some waivers to some qualified students.
Yep.
I mentioned the importance of finances. So when you are a student in the U.S. on an F visa, you are not allowed to work off campus. You can only work at the university that you're studying at. And you can work up to 20 hours per week during the semester, 40 hours per week during the breaks. But that's not enough to cover your entire costs. So what we need to see to make sure that you're going to be successful is some kind of proof that you have the ability to support yourself financially while you're here in the U.S. And so we do that during the application phase. So we do require you to submit an affidavit of finances and proof that you have access to these funds. So that is part of the application process. Pavan can help you with this, but one thing that we also do is on that affidavit of financial support, there's a box that says, do you need an admission letter in order to seek financial support? So some people want to be admitted and get the admission letter and then take that letter to apply for financing someplace, whether it's a bank or a company or a foundation.
Yeah.
So we can't make an admission decision without proof of finances, and that's by that check mark on that financial affidavit. But we can't send an I-20, or we can't give you that ability to apply for a visa until we have the proof of finances.
Absolutely. If I can add some more, like, see, as a student, while we're applying to any universities here, of course, we want to make sure that we have enough funds to support our studies and stay here. So for that purpose, the universities would like to see whether the student is capable enough or not. So showing the funds at the bank, like the savings, by the parents or like sponsor, anybody supporting the students, they must show at least first year cover of the cost of attendance at the given university. So that should reflect on your bank statement, or we call a reference letter here, and that would definitely help the admission officials at the university to make a decision that you actually succeeded with academic transcripts, and you also got approved with the admission officials regarding your further step. Now, they're just waiting on your financials. So that means you should be capable. You should be getting a strong sponsorship. So for that verification, this is the requirement. So I think you are talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we make sure that even before we make the application, we ask the students their capability, their financials, or the savings at the bank, and then we proceed further. So that's the best way. And for a student, as a student also, you need to check yourself with your parents, with your family, before you start your process. And yes, we'll be guiding you about making application, collecting the required documents for Southeast Missouri State University, and also when to submit the financial documents, and when do you get the I-20. So this is the thing.
On a related note, I would say that you mentioned talking to your parents and kind of culturally, I know it may be difficult or not the norm for the children to talk to the parents about financing and kind of specifics about where the money is coming from. But in the visa interview, it's not uncommon for the consular officer to ask the visa applicant information about the financing. And if you don't have a sense of how that's going to play out in your family or how that's going to work, that's not going to look good on your application. So really having an understanding on your own as to how that financing is going to work, how your family is going to make that work, how your sponsor is going to make that work, can help you in the visa interview. Okay. So it may be an uncomfortable conversation. It may not, but that is really important for you. You're coming to be independent in the U.S. You're coming to be, we consider university to be the beginning of adulthood. So you need to have an understanding of how that works. And in case they ask you, you should have an answer for that.
Absolutely. It's just not for the university, of course, to convince the visa officers that you have sufficient funds to support your studies. So that is absolutely required, because they often, in most cases, ask you whether you have enough funds or resources to support your studies or not, like income sources or even the properties matters. So balance at the bank, these things are taken into consideration. Of course, Kevin, you raised that pretty well, and of course we need to make sure that we have enough fundings for that, and that way we can crack the interviews, succeed the interviews.
Okay, and so moving on, we look at your previous academics to determine how your previous records translate into a US 4.0 GPA. So we handle that all on our own. So we will be requesting copies of your transcripts. We do require officials at some point So for first-time undergraduate applicants and first-time graduate applicants, we can make admission decisions based on unofficial transcripts. But if you're transferring, if you've already done some higher education at the level that you're applying for, we do need the official transcripts before we can make an admission decision. So that's an important distinction for you to know and to understand. So you would have to arrange with your previous institution to send those documents to us in a secure manner. We require a copy of your passport page, mostly because of the MRZ code on the bottom of that. We want to make sure that we're entering your name in an appropriate manner so that it matches on the I-20, and when you're applying for the visa, there's no discrepancies about how your name is presented and spelled and things like that. And then, of course, we require proof of English proficiency. And again, this is how we can help ensure your success, that all the information proves that if you do not have the language skills that are necessary at this level, you're not going to be successful. You're really going to struggle. It's going to be difficult. So we do need proof that you have the proficiency to succeed in the program. And there you can see the different test scores that we require on the undergraduate side. Graduate admission, so if you're applying for a master's degree, it's a little bit different. Each one of our programs has different admission requirements. So, for example, the MBA program requires a GMAT test or GRE. The Applied Computer Science does not require a GRE. The MPA program requires letters of recommendation. The cybersecurity program does not. So the admission requirements for each program are a little bit different. There's the website there that you can look up all the different programs. Other than that, the basics of the application are the same. An online form, the application fee, proof of finances. We need the transcripts, the passport, and the proof of English proficiency. Now, here I'm going to show you real quick what our estimated cost of attendance is for 1 year. We set our annual tuition rates on an annual basis, usually in June, prior to the start of the school year in August. So what I can show you right now is what our estimated cost is for this year, but also know that it may go up 1% or so next year. But this is a good estimate. We've got two columns there, the undergraduate column and the graduate column. And that is the estimated cost for everything without any kind of scholarships applied for 1 year. So you can see on the undergraduate side, the annual tuition is around $14,000 per year. On the graduate side, it's about $10,790 per year. You've got books and expenses, you've got housing and food. Insurance is an important cost because all of our students have to have health insurance while they're here. And that's the estimate. Now, I stress that this is an estimate because the undergraduate side is based on 30 credit hours per year. Mm-hmm. Full-time enrollment is 24. So depending on the number of credit hours you register for, that's going to affect your tuition costs. We charge on a per credit hour basis. So most people, if you want to graduate in 4 years, you need 30 credit hours per year. That's what the tuition costs. Housing, there are a lot of different options. We have on-campus housing, off-campus housing. This really, really varies. What we're presenting in terms of food and living expenses is the median expense. People can definitely do it cheaper. People can definitely pay more. But, you know, this is kind of depending on your choice what the estimate is going to be. Now, when we talk about scholarships, if you are a bachelor's degree seeking student, we have 3 levels of scholarship. We have the highest International Academic Excellence Award. That's worth $8,000 per year. We have the International Achievement Award. That's worth around $6,100 per year. And then anybody with at least a 2.5 gets the $2,000 scholarship. So if you qualify for that $8,000 scholarship, then you're looking at an I-20 amount that's closer to $18,000, and you're looking at a tuition cost that's closer to, what, $6,000 per year. So that's where we talk about being incredibly affordable. An I-20 amount that's around $18,000 for this level of your quality of education is really difficult to match in the United States. So to kind of get back to these scholarships a little bit, to qualify for these merit-based awards, it's strictly based on the documents that you submit for your application. It's based on your transcripts, and it's based on that TOEFL or IELTS score. If you've taken an SAT, we can use the SAT as well for you to qualify for these awards. So again, there's no additional application for these scholarships. If you qualify, you will receive it. And so to qualify for that top award, that $8,000 per year, you need to be a first-time freshman. You need to have a 3.75 GPA and a 6.5 on the IELTS, 79 on the TOEFL, or a 1280 or higher on the SAT. If you have any of those, you automatically get it. To qualify for the $6,000 one, you need a 3.25 GPA, a 6.0 on the IELTS, or 69 on the TOEFL, or a 1060 on the SAT. If you don't qualify for any of those, if you have a 2.5 or higher GPA, you get a $2,000 scholarship. So again, that gets your I-20 amount down to whether it's $18,000 or right at $20,000 or at $24,000. So that's kind of how the scholarships work. On the graduate side, anybody with a 2.5 GPA, and you basically need a 2.5 GPA to be admitted into a grad program, but anybody with a 2.5 from their undergraduate program will receive the $2,000 international award. And again, if you go back to that I-20, a $2,000 scholarship for graduate, you're looking at $18,500 per year for high-level, highly accredited master's degree programs. And that's, again, that $18,000 price point per year for a master's degree for everything. And you can do that more cheaply by choosing more affordable housing options or cooking for yourself instead of going out and things like that. We really think that those are competitive price points for you and for all international students. And that concludes that stuff, Pavan.
Wow, that's so great to hear from you that we have many more scholarship offers to our students. And if you just meet with the 2.5 admission requirement, then you have automatic scholarship amount of 2,000 in most of the courses. That means it's quite appealing and very good offer to international student at one point, like, you were talking about the quality, the name of the university, and as additional, feature and then reason to choose SEMO, Southeast Missouri State University, is like you got scholarship as well on top of the affordable tuition structure. That means, it becomes even more accessible for many of our students. So this is great. Thanks for that offer. And of course, like higher the GPA, higher amount of scholarship option is there too. It's always like, good to share with our students that our relationship, our partnership with SEMO, our relationship with you and working with you all, it's always been a pleasure. The support that you giving us and our students in regards of the admissions, plus the the support this way, with the scholarship amount on top of their tuition, that really becomes very accessible university for many of us. Thanks for highlighting those, Kevin. And excuse me. So because we are starting the application for fall, earlier this year, we are going to have more coming in for use at Southeast Missouri, Kevin, as we.
And I want to point out too that
Mhm.
that video that you showed said that there's like a March 1st deadline to apply for scholarships.
Yeah. Mhm.
We have pushed back that
Mhm.
deadline. So now it's June 1st. So if
Okay,
anybody
right.
wants to qualify for these scholarships, there's a
Mhm.
June 1st application deadline. and the test score that they use to qualify needs to be taken by the end of June, by June 30th. So there's still time for people to apply and qualify for these scholarships for the August intake.
Absolutely. That's even better. Thanks for mentioning that. And it definitely helps our students make a decision, make a plan for applying to your university. So it's great. Thank you for that. Uh, about how we make the application, of course, we at Bradford will be very happy to receive any application or talk about the university, the programs to our students. So how do you want the application be prepared and sent to you through us, Kevin?
Well, there's if you can give me the
I
ability to
mean,
share my screen again, I can show you something.
sure. Yeah. I mean, we know everything about making a good application for you. But again, if there is any update or even helpful tips for quicker I-20s, that is appreciated. Yeah.
So what I was going to show you on our website. So if you go to the apply,
Mm-hmm.
when
Yep.
you get to that page, these are all videos that will walk you through step by step on
Mm-hmm.
that process. And then I was just going to show you that. You can take off the screen share.
Okay.
But what I would recommend in order to ensure the quickest processing possible. So we're dealing with a heavy volume of fall 21 applicants, which is excellent. But we have a relatively small admission staff who are working as hard as they can to get through all of the documents and all the applications that are being submitted. And right now it's taking us about 1 to 2 weeks to get to applications and things when they're submitted.
Mm-hmm.
My recommendation to get the quickest responses and admission possible is to make sure that the application materials are complete when you're submitting it. Because if you send in 75% of the application materials, it'll take 2 weeks for us to get to that. And then we'll give you a response saying that this is missing. Then that gets turned in. That'll take another 2 weeks. So making sure that we have everything. And the way that our admission process works is when you submit the online application, you're automatically sent an email to the email address on the application that says you need to send us this, you need to send us this, you need to send us this, and you need to send us this. All you have to do is simply reply to that email, attach those documents, and if you have everything included, then we're going to be able to process that a lot more quickly. If it's going in submitting documents and things in different steps, it's going to take a little bit longer. We'll get to it. You're going to meet the deadline, no problems with that at this point, but just realize that because of the volume, the quickest way to ensure processing and admission decisions is to make sure that everything's complete when they're sent in.
Absolutely. The the more complete documents that you provide, the smoother process it will be, the quickest I-20 you can expect to, right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Kevin, for all the information, and definitely it's gonna help our students and ourselves. And we will hit your inbox with more new applications sometime. Sooner, as we are doing, and you'll get plenty of application with that side, because we now receiving good number of students inquiring us and dropping the documents at us. And yeah, do be curious, feel free to come and ask us about best options at your preferred institutions, and SEMO, one of them, as the best choice of the university for you. It could be like they don't have like specialized engineering program, but besides that, they have everything in everything in place. So everything to offer for you. So feel free to come along with us. We'll be happy to process your application and guide you about visa interview, and give you the best tips that comes through our experience of this 15 years already. And by the way, Kevin, last week, uh, when is that? Yeah, I think earlier this week, we had our 15th anniversary celebrated, and we can't thank you and your team for the partnership, and of course to our students who gave us a trust, and then continuing they're continuing their services with us with full trust, and we care about that, and all the institutional partners, and our stakeholders, including channel partners and the well wishers. So it is 15 years now, and I still feel like we started yesterday, and but I feel good about when I hear from our students who graduated from here or other countries, and share about their success stories in the good careers they are in. That means it feels like Bradford really is doing great together with you all.
And that's what it's all about, is helping students meet their dreams and be successful. And congratulations, 15 years is quite an accomplishment. That really says a lot about you and your leadership and your team. And what we know in recruitment is word of mouth is everything.
Absolutely.
And that if you do not treat students well, or if you promise things that you can't deliver, or you're not honest and ethical, you don't last very long in this field or any field.
Yep.
And 15 years is really a testimony of how well you treat people, how much you set them up for success, and how strong of partnerships you have with people around the world. So congratulations to you. We're really happy to be strong partners with you, and we look forward to at least 15 more.
Absolutely. You will see that happening, of course, and because we are carrying the same ethos when it comes to serving our students, and becoming one of the exemplary in our industry for student recruitment, and that's our big key to the success. A big secret, always be honest, loyal to your clients, to your partner institution, and to all the people around, and that would lead you to your achievements. And I think we have come along this 15 years, and like you said, 15 more years, or even more. Absolutely. Thank you, Kevin, and I look forward to working with you more closely. And I want to thank you again, and together my team. And absolutely, it's just not my leadership anyway, and to come on this 15th anniversary, but whole team at Bradford in Nepal and abroad. So that absolutely our great excitement, great achievement so far, and we look forward to having that sort of achievement together with you all, Kevin, and everybody watching us, and who have supported us.
Yep. Well, happy Holi, everybody. Hope you enjoy the holiday.
Happy Holi. And yes, please, submit your documents, come see us, and we'll be happy to take your application further and get your I-20s processed at Kevin's office sooner as they can. And, we'll just give them pressure, hey, we need this is to an I-20 sooner. So we can do that, provided you have all the application, the materials in place, and like Kevin mentioned a lot. So, Kevin, thanks for your time again, and hope to see you in person sometime soon in the future.
Indeed. Thanks for the opportunity. Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day. All right. And it's about next live session, which will be on the 1st of April. It's not April Fool anyway, but we have this real program on this 1st of April. Miss Garima Narang from Lakehead University, another great public university from Canada, will be joining us on this live platform. Yes, this is the time for US, time for the Canada, and time for the UK, and of course, for Australia, we're just waiting for the borders to open. But glad that students are continuing their admission process with us for Australia, and we love to process now and in the future as well. Please feel free to connect with us. All right. Thank you, guys, and happy Holi once again. And thanks for joining me. See you next week. Bye now.